Jay, we've already talked about it a little bit about how past experiences shape our present struggles, and whether that's mental health or addictions or unwanted behaviors. We've seen that to be true. So, what are some of the key signs that our unresolved wounds are affecting our mental health today?
Yes. So to answer that, I want to weave in a couple definitions of trauma from Bessel van der Kolk and Peter Levine. So part of what Bessel van der Kolk, the author of The Body Keeps the Score, talks about is he says that trauma is not just this event that happened to us long ago. It's the ongoing imprint of that event on us today. And so the other thing that Peter Levine says is that we do not so much know our trauma primarily through our memories, but far more our reactions. And that's a
Mm.
really important point that if you are wondering about where your trauma or mental health struggles originated from, it could be very valuable to try and go back into the memory bank and remember past stories. And I'm a big advocate of that. But one of the best ways that you can begin is to study your reactions to relationships, to experiences. So, a couple examples would be I have a 2010 Forerunner. It's a pretty old car. Sometimes when I drop my kids off at school, there are those classic kind of New York families that have the Cadillac Escalade with their private driver and they're getting dropped off, and you see all these kids come out. And I started feeling some sense of I have a very old truck, and starting to feel some level of shame, some level of like my kids, when they see their friends, they want to roll down the windows and like wave to them, call them out. And I find my body like just wanting to hide. And I'm like, what is happening that I want my kids to shut up and I don't want them to be seen. I don't want to be seen. I want to drop them off a block or two away from the school. And
It's kind of the reverse of the usual narrative. The kids are wanting that. Now the dad's wanting that.
yes, totally. And I'm like, what is happening? And I dropped my kids off and found a parking spot. And I'm like, what is going on? And the memory that came to me was my son is in sixth grade, and I remember being in fifth and sixth grade, and we had a Dodge Caravan with the classic wood paneling
Oh,
around it.
yeah. Oh,
And we
yeah.
had that wood paneling car way later than most kids in our neighborhood. And I can remember, being in the front seat with my mom or my dad driving, and the before the automatic seats, you could kind of pull the lever to go back. And I
Yeah.
remember doing that when I would drive past kids in my neighborhood. And so that sense of, my body was repeating a pattern that my,
Ah.
trauma, this difficult experience that I had was not this past event. It was the ongoing imprint of that event on us today. And so, as I just mentioned, my son is 11, almost 12 years old. And the other day, he was wearing kind of Nike cargo pants, an Adidas shirt, and I don't know, maybe a Yankees hat. And I was like, I felt this inner reaction of like, what are you wearing? You're going to get made fun of for not having consistent brands going on. And I'm having this like controlling moment inside of me and feeling like I could get so close to shaming this kid. And again, where am I in my story? Well, I can remember being mocked for wearing cargo pants. I can remember so many experiences of wearing sports shirts or Adidas shirts and being mocked for not wearing Tommy Hilfiger or something that had a collar on it. And so all these experiences that I'm having, my reactions, my trauma, my shaming of my kids, they're not random events. They are reactions to where I come from. So, if you are struggling with a type of judgment, like I always screw up, like what the heck is wrong with me? Or you find yourself like, you can't fall asleep without pornography or an orgasm. Well, a lot of times what happens is we condemn ourselves in the present and we don't really build that bridge between why is this certain pattern of looking at porn or masturbating in order to fall asleep, like what story is that telling? And often what you'll find is that maybe you grew up in a home that there was a lot of abandonment or a lot of humiliation and cruelty. And just as a sense of a 13-year-old boy or girl, where is a lot of that stress and condemnation and shame and disengagement going to go? Well, you're going to begin to find a way to dissociate, to numb, to be able to find your. So that sense of whatever your present day shame and reactions and self loathing is so often a clue into the unaddressed portions of your life. And I think that's really the point that we want to invite people
Mm.
into is until that bridge is built from the present to the past and the past to the present, you're going to continue to fight a war without understanding the real battle that you're facing.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that even just speaking personally, it's a lot easier for me to have something like that happen and that's just ignore it because I know that if I become curious about it, then it's going to require work and it's going to require me to perhaps even go into parts of my past that been there, done that, don't want to do it again. But yet it has to happen in order for me to be healthier in the present.
Yeah. Well, and what I hear you saying, Jay, is that when we have maybe some negative mental health or challenges with really strong emotions, those in and of themselves are the signs that there's unresolved wounds. They're pointing back to some unresolved work in our life. And if we're willing, as you're saying, Heather, to pay attention to that, we might learn a lot about what the connections are.